Wednesday. You know what that means. Time for the Southern California Writers Association Hump Day Book Tour. I'm your host, Maddie Margarita, here with Diana Pardee on tech. Every Wednesday morning, SCWA turns our Facebook page over to a new author, or a returning author in this case, to talk about their latest work. This morning, we are proud to welcome back Tori Eldridge. Tori is the national best-selling author of the Lily Wong mystery thriller series, The Ninja Daughter, The Ninja's Blade, which I think was your last visit, and The Ninja Betrayed, nominated for the Anthony, Lefty, and Macavity Awards, and winner of Suspense Magazine's Crimson Scribe Award for the best book of 2021. Or shorter works appear in the inaugural reboot of Weird Tales magazine and other horror, dystopian, and literary anthologies. You ever have Wednesdays that feel like Mondays? Anyway, her short story Missing on Kauai appears in the 2022 Mystery Writers of America anthology Crime Hits Home. Her horror screenplay, The Gift, which inspired her latest Dance Among the Flames, earned a semi-finalist spot for the Academy Nicholl Fellowship. Before writing, Tori performed as an actress, singer, dancer on Broadway television and film, and earned a 5th degree black belt in To-Shin Do ninja martial arts. She is of Hawaiian, Chinese, Norwegian accent and was born and raised in Honolulu. Welcome, Tori.
Hey, Maddie, great to be back. This is fun. Number 71 after being, episode number 2. This is super fun.
I know we're going full circle. I know, but I mean, as exciting as it was to talk about the Ninja Blade, now today we get to talk about your passion project, which you alluded to way back in episode 2, which is Dance Among the Flames. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. That's this lovely thing.
A beautiful cover in the back.
Oh, it's so great. I'm super excited about this. Dance Among the Flames is quite a departure from Lily Wong. So Lily Wong, mystery thriller, intriguing, mystery, very cultural, very family oriented. Some of those themes follow through, basically things that I write tend to be very culturally deep. They do tend to look at family dynamics. They usually have some kind of empowerment element, whether you're looking at it from the dark side or the light side. But this book is not a mystery. It is dark fiction. Yeah, it's definitely dark fiction. There's some dark fantasy elements in it, but it's very grounded in Brazil, recent Brazilian history. There's a strong horror element. Basically, it is about a desperate mother who rises from the slums of Brazil to become a powerful wielder of Quimbanda black magic. So it spans 3 continents, 40 years, and a past incident in 1560 France. So yeah, wow. I know.
All that in one book.
It's pretty wild. It's a wild ride, and it's dark. Did I mention it's dark? I feel like it should have a trigger warning for sex and dark.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This book's hot.
I hear everybody pre-ordering the book right now. Well, good. If that is a departure, and I know that we said it's your passion project, but when we talked before, you have been working on this book for a long time.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing about how the publishing journey happens. So frequently, the first book that we write is not the first book that's published. Dance Among the Flames is a new version of a screenplay that I wrote over 2 decades ago. I got my start into writing through writing screenplays, original screenplays, and then I started adapting novels to television and film for my husband's producing company. And so I had written this wild screenplay at the time, which has elements of this story. And that screenplay was the one that got the semi-finalist Nicholl Academy Fellowship nod. And so, everybody was like, wow, this should really be a novel. So I expanded it into a novel. I went deep into all these characters and this astounding Brazilian culture and this incredible spiritualism that's this amalgamation of African Yoruba and Portuguese Catholicism and the Brazilian Indian traditions. And this is what the slaves had to do to preserve their spiritualism, their religion, and syncretize it to Catholicism and Brazil. And it was so fascinating to me. Oh my gosh, so fascinating. So I wrote this huge novel, but I got to tell you, at that time I had two little boys, now they're grown men. And I had just discovered the martial arts. I had no idea I was going to become as obsessive about that as I was and end up being a 5th degree black belt, for crying out loud. I mean, I had no clue. But what I knew was there was something about the writing business, and I didn't want to do it at the time. So I put it aside. 13 years later, I wanted to write again. Got another idea. And then I went back and looked in the closet at the inception for this book and went, whoa. And so it became the project on which I learned my craft. So, a lot of authors will write many, many, many books before they find the one that hits. For me, this book was so epic that there was so much there, so many ways to tell the story, that it became an exploratory project. And so what came out of that was finding the right way to tell this story and whose point of view. And in the end, Serafina Olegario had her way. She just said, excuse me, it's my story and you will tell it my way. And I went, oh, yes, ma'am. I don't want you turning your quimbanda on me.
Okay. So did you write it in first person or close third or?
Close third, and in a few different points of view, not just hers. So again, very different. All the Lily Wong books are written in a first person because that was just Lily Wong. That's how it needed to be. But this book, very, very close third, and divided among, some of the key characters.
Oh God, I have so many questions for you. Well, let's talk about Serafina. How does she compare and how does she differ from Lily Wong?
Oh, well, did I mention dark?
I'm sensing a theme here.
I feel like I should just make sure there's a warning out there. Lily Wong is a hero. She's a modern day ninja. She's 25. She's coming of age. She's discovering her way in the world, right? She's out there being a protector and rescuer of women and children. I mean, this is a heroic young woman. Serafina, number one, she is older. I mean, we meet her when she's 16 and she has this illegitimate baby. And that's the first time she's possessed by the goddess Yanza, is after a very harsh experience with her politician, lover, that guy. Anyway, this sets her on this course. So we meet her when she's 16. Then we see her growing through this learning, being pushed toward this Umbanda spiritualism, which is quite benevolent. We see this dark side of Quimbanda seeping in, and we follow this story through her to 60. So it's really, following this life of this incredibly dynamic, sensual, powerful, fearsome woman, but very, very different from Lily Wong. And the family element comes from her baby who grows to a man and his daughter, and where that leads.
Another comparison. So were you tempted to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
Oh, you mean capoeira?
Yeah.
Or do you literally mean like Gracie Jiu-Jitsu?
No, I mean Gracie.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I know that. Yeah, you probably experiment with different disciplines, but
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned that. My first, I started in Tong-Soo Do, which is a Korean karate. And the school I went to had many teachers, and those teachers did a variety of things. Some of them were competitive kickboxers. So I did a lot of private lessons in competitive kickboxing. And one of them in particular had a lot of training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I had a fair amount of ground fighting experience before I ever started the ninja arts, which, among other things, also includes ground fighting. So yeah, I've had a taste of it, shall we say.
Is the spiritualism and the metaphysical or aesthetics different in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu versus the Korean karate, the discipline, the mental approach to martial arts?
Oh, they're also very different. Tong-Soo Do was a sport karate. So, right there, that's a whole other thing. You got gloves and, bunny mints, you've got rules, you're in a mat, or else you're performing your kata, right? Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is all about, wrestling, throws, locks, that kind of a thing. It can be adapted, to real life situations, absolutely. But when you think about it, if you're looking at self-defense, do you really want to end up locking somebody up in a ground fight in the middle of the street? No, that's the last place you want to be.
I want to run. I want to get away and run.
Yeah, that's the last place you want to be. And especially if you're a woman, if you're locked up in some kind of wrestling ground thing, like, as an attacking man might want to do, right? What you want to do, and this is what we, teach in ninja arts, is to, find that space, find the holes, create that distance, strike hard and escape and go. And so very different approach, so all three of those things are quite different.
So, and how many iterations over the course of the time that you had first conceived this book, and how you mentioned getting it to the final product? How did you distill all of that into one book? And was there ever a point where you said, oh, I can't do this? There's so much there. I don't know where to start.
No, I never had that experience. But I did really explore drastically different ways of telling it. Like, as I said, Dance Among the Flames is Serafina's story. It could have been Michael and Adriana's heroic journey. It could have been. And it had been. I explored writing it in a first person, not Serafina's voice. I explored writing it in an omniscient narrative. I explored writing it in closed third person. I explored different ways of the timeline, right? Because it takes place in different parts of Brazil, in Los Angeles, in Venice Beach, in California, and in a little hamlet in 1560 France. So, do you tell it linearly? Do you tell it from the point, flip between two characters? There's a convergence of these characters. So I explored that. I explored starting it, kind of where the screenplay did, and doing flashbacks to catch up. I explored so many different ways because there were so many different ways to tell it. And ultimately, this was the most impactful, powerful way. And so by the time this book was in submission, this version of this book was in submission at the same time, I believe, as The Ninja Daughter. And so, I had the ninja's blade mapped out. I had other things in the works mapped out. I had started a 5th novel, and I had those 2 books in submission. I just kind of left it up to the gods and went, okay, I had a website. And so my website was kind of branded around me as this multicultural, empowerment type author, right? But I really had no idea which way it was going to go. So when the Lily Wong books got the deal, then I went, okay, then I'm going to introduce myself and brand it as the ninja author, and dive in there, but always knowing in my head that I need to do that in such a way that because I had all these short stories out, and they were also in horror, and they were in dystopian, and they were in all sorts of anthologies. And so I always had to do it in such a way that people understood I don't stay in a lane. I don't stay in one genre. Even the Lily Wong books are not one genre. They're mystery, they're thriller, but they're also, very much a family drama. They have a lot of humor in them. So they really do kind of, that was the goal for the Lily Wong books, to do something different, because usually you don't get that kind of cultural depth and family, angst in a mystery thriller. So my goal for the Lily Wong books was how to keep that pace, give you all that, but give you this too. So Dance Among the Flames, it's not surprising that it doesn't fit neatly into a box.
What does that portend for the Lily Wong series? And what are you working on now? And I mean, because you're always working on something, because that's who you are. But so what is the plan, or is there a plan?
Oh, there's always a plan. Just a question of whether how well I stick to it, or if it starts to,
if everybody
change.
agrees with your plan, right?
Yeah, well, not so much that, but sometimes things come up where I have to diverge. It's like, okay. So for instance, I was a quarter of the way through the 4th Lily Wong book when I realized I really needed to write this novel set on Kauai that was inspired by the short story Missing on Kauai. That's going to appear in MWA's 2022 anthology Crime Hits Home, and that comes out in April. And when I started writing that, I just came up with this amazing family. Here we go again, a family, the Pahokula Ohana, and met Makalani and this whole, her tutu and her father, her aunties, her uncle, her cousins, all this drama that was going on with this missing cousin. And I had so much fun, and I realized, I did it again. I wrote a short story that's inspiring a novel. That's what happened with The Ninja Daughter. That's where all that came from. And so I always knew this could be a novel, and if it took, it could start a series, and it would involve the Hawaiian homelands. And so the first book would be on Kauai. And so my thought was I was going to write the Lily Wong book, and then I was going to write that. And then I for a variety of reasons, I realized, no, I need to write that now. I need to write that now. And so that's what I'm doing. And so I'm completely, here I am, getting ready to promote this wild Brazilian thing. Well, I've got this Chinese Norwegian thing happening, and I'm diving into my own Hawaiian culture in a way that I never had an opportunity to do, even when I was growing up in Honolulu, because now I'm even starting to take lessons in Olelo, Hawaii. So I'm learning my language. I grew up singing in Hawaiian. I grew up dancing in Hawaiian, even chanting in Hawaiian, but I only knew enough words so that I understood what I was singing, dancing to. I didn't really understand, how to speak. And so I'm learning just a little bit of that now. And it's very enriching.
You are so interesting, Tori. I mean, I think everybody, hopefully people got a sense, readers got a sense of what kind of a wild ride they're in for in Dance Among the Flames, which is not outright, but it's available for pre-order.
It is available for pre-order. And by the way, if you want signed copies, I would suggest pre-ordering from the Poison Pen, or in San Diego, Mysterious Galaxy, or in Chapel Hill, Flyleaf Books, because I'm going to be going by Flyleaf Books. I'm also going to, on a book tour, it drops May 24th. And on my way back from Thriller Fest, I'm going to stop at Flyleaf, sign books. And I'm also going to stop at Murder by the Books in Houston, and I'll be signing books. So all of those bookstores, as well as Book Soup, because they're my hometown. So if you want signed copies, that's where I'd look.
All right. Well, great. We wish you the best of luck. Thank you so much for being here again.
Oh, my pleasure.
We,
Loads of fun.
we are now totally invested in your career and moving forward. So please stay in touch and let us know. And everybody, when you do get your hands on Tori's books, please take a minute and review it.
Oh gosh, please.
Yes.
I would appreciate that.
Writers, you know, as much as they enjoy coffee, they love reviews more. So if you get a chance, please review that. Or if you've already purchased her Lily Wong, any of her 3 in the Lily Wong series, please review those as well. We all appreciate that. So yeah. So thank you, Tori, and thank you everybody for being with us today. Hopefully, if you enjoyed it, and if you'd like to share it, you can share it on Facebook, or you can go to our YouTube channel, which is SCWA Writers Online, and view this bookshot as well as others. So in the meantime, please take care of yourselves, and we will see you soon. Bye. I'm Maddie Margarita, and this was the SCWA Hump Day Book Tour.